Well, good evening and welcome to Peter Mwema Media. Remember, we come to you live from St. Paul's University, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you have not subscribed, please make sure you form part of this journey. And in our maiden broadcast today, we are doing a review of the presidential debate which was held yesterday, where the 5th president of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, hosted 6 media houses, and the mandate in this program is to discuss the things that were discussed yesterday regarding the state of the nation, policies and governance, and nothing is left off the table. And joining me in this particular broadcast is the former St. Paul's University Student Association President, His Excellency Marvin Ibrahim, who will be joining us on this particular broadcast. So welcome, Your Excellency, to this particular broadcast.
Asante sana, thank you.
Let's do our own handshake here. Okay, the president was hosted yesterday in State House.
Yeah.
6 media houses were present. Quite a heated discussion. As a young leader who has been holding an office and having listened to the discussion, what is your take home from that particular interview?
My take home from that was the president seems to have a plan. The president seems to have a plan, but the plan is not as watertight as it should be. It's not as watertight as it should be, and it needs some sandpapering. It needs some smoothing. A bit of rough edges still in there, but if he keeps at it, if the Kenya Kwanza government keeps at it, we may have a very difficult first 3 years, but then of course have a very smooth 7-year succession to that, because really we know it's going to be a 10-year.
That one we do not know for sure, because there is a general election which is going to come after 4 years from now. So the members of the Republic of Kenya will decide who will be their next president. And if they decide that the current president will be the next president, then we can say for sure it will be 10 years.
Well, for a guy who beat the so-called deep state at their own game, and whitewashed them, really, it wouldn't be mind-blowing if the president did it again. Because this time he's against himself as the deep state. So what makes you think he's going to lose? But
Mr. President, with all the due respect, I think we have a strong opposition. I think, if the opposition, sort of organizes itself very well, maybe come then, they'll be able to overthrow this giant politician in the name of President William Ruto.
I'll tell you what, the one person who may be probably a formidable opponent against the incumbent would be Jimmy Wanjigi, and I'll tell you why.
Jimmy Wanjigi?
Yes, I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Kenyan politics is tribal, and in our history as a country, we do know that every time Kikuyus and Luos have come together, it has been a combination that has been hard to beat. And why am I talking about Kikuyu Luo combination? There are rumors, tongues are wagging that probably Piki Piki Ponki, who's Willie Sotieno, may be the running mate of Jimmy Wanjigi. So imagine this, we have a Kikuyu on the ballot. They rarely not vote for their own. They rarely fail to vote for their own, especially if he or she is going for the top seat. And that's a vote basket of over 35%. The gamer community vote basket is 35%. Now, other to the Luo vote basket, which is 11%, that's already past 46%. So they only need 4%. And that's why that combination has always been hard to beat. Now, you see, and that's why I'm saying it's got to be Jimmy Wanjigi, because look at this. Jimmy Wanjigi vice against William Ruto. Raila vice, or Raila supports Kalonzo. That will be a divided. Kambas have around 10 to 11%. So Kalonzo probably at 17%, Raila probably at 18%. Ruto, the Kalenjin vote basket, unfortunately, comes around 4th or 5th. No, the 3rd, I think. It's the 3rd in number.
Okay.
So, it's Jimmy Wanjigi.
Okay, fine. That's speculation for sure. And you know, anything in politics, they say politics, anything is politics is possible.
Yes.
And we're gonna wait for that to happen.
Yes.
But before we digress, because I can feel like now we have we have gotten into politics.
Yes.
The issue of the VAT tax, which was quite at the center of the debate yesterday.
Yes.
By the president. I remember the president was asked by one citizen journalist, Abdi, the issue of VAT. On his presidential debate, he said he has no intention whatsoever to raise the value-added tax. As we speak today, there is a proposal in Parliament to raise the bill to 16%, and you can see fuel prices have already started to hike up.
Yes.
Do you think the president has gotten it wrong in terms of widening the tax gap? Kenyans being overtaxed on this particular issue, Your Excellency?
First of all, allow me to catch you up on a word. You said, he said during the presidential debate that you didn't raise the taxes.
Yes.
As a politician, I'll tell you, politicians say a lot of things. So, yes, he said.
What are you trying to insinuate by that?
But, you know, I'll tell you this. There's a Swahili methali that ends with something vitendo, something ujulikana kwa vitendo. And it talks about maneno not being sort of enough to tell who a man is. But away from that,
yes,
Kenyans are being overtaxed. That's not a question. That out of 100 shillings, you're almost sure that 50 bob is going to the government. Is not something that as a Kenyan and a taxpayer would take lightly. We are being overtaxed. And the problem is we have a government that seems not to be accepting this. I would appreciate if the president went live on national television and said that, you know what, hey, we accept that we are overburdening you, but it's going to be for a short while. It's for the greater good.
Will they say that they are overburdened? Will they accept?
Come on, they accepted Shakahola.
Okay, all right.
When push comes to shove, I think sometimes you have to be as honorable as your name is and accept that really again, your subjects are being overburdened.
Exactly.
Yes.
When I listen to the president, though, he says that some of these measures will make sure that Kenyans in the next 6-7 years to come, they will be sort of, you know, living a comfortable life. They will be, of course, I've paid the 8.8 trillion, you know, the debt that we are being owed by other countries. Saying that some of these measures, like, you know, making sure that they're widening the tax gap. Now he's saying that the gas for 300 shillings is something that is in the thought process. Maybe it's not going to be probable this year. He's saying that in future, these policies will make the life of a Kenyan to be quite good. But again, at the expense of the people who, some of them live from hand to mouth.
Well, as I said before, I would give Ruto the benefit of the doubt in the long term. Because really, if he goes down as the president who overtaxed Kenyans and never sorted out our economic situation, it would be bad for him. So I am sort of believing that he has a plan. And, you know, the people around him, the Ndis and the Ndungus, they seem to have a plan. But it's also worrying when Ndi himself says stuff like, if you think you're a better economist, you could write your own, you know, financial bit. But I am looking forward to a great probably second term if William Ruto is re-elected. And I won't be surprised if he has the best second term in the history of all the presidents who have led this country. But honestly, his first term is going to be
bumpy ride.
To be crazy. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Right. And we focus to end this discussion. There has been a recent bromance between the president and the former prime minister. Yes. We all know that politically they never saw eye to eye. But we saw them at the burial of Mukami Kimanthi.
Yes.
And then after that they went to Kipkeino Classic, and they were cheering Gor Mahia and the FC. Is there a looming handshake? From what you read as a, as a student leader and, as a person who has been in leadership, do you think this tactic will work to bring Raila close and contain him, and he'll be able to execute his agenda? Is there a looming handshake from your point of view?
There's a Swahili saying I came up with, and it says that mwana hasau jinsi kisogo cha babake kinakaa hata awe amezeeka vipi.
Mwenga kweli kweli. Okay.
William Ruto is Raila Odinga's political son. And
they say they know each other better.
They really do. In fact, probably better than we think. And I won't be surprised if Raila Odinga gets a piece of the cake. Not in a handshake way, though. Because that would be a dent in William Ruto's legacy, which he doesn't want. But I know Ruto is going to give Raila Odinga a piece of the cake, because he understands that if he has to lead this country peacefully, because Uhuru understood that during his second term, and he had a smooth term, and Ruto sort of understood that, that jamaa anataka keki tu kidogo.
Anataka mkate nusu, Waswahili wanasema.
Kwa sasa hatapata nusu. But if you guys say a quarter or 10%, it's still a piece of cake.
Yes.
So Ruto has understood that. And he knows that without silencing Raila Odinga, it's going to be turmoil. It's going to be all hell breaking loose. And the bromance, really, for me, can only go up from here. I'm not seeing a worse political situation past this. Yes.
Okay. Is there a danger for Gachagua, His Excellency the Deputy President?
There is. We're talking about Jimmy Wanjigi,
yes,
vying in 2027. And if he vies, I'm sorry to say this, Gachagua may become irrelevant. He may not be as of help as he was to Ruto in 2022. Because really, Kikuyus will have their man going for the top seat. If Gachagua will bring in the vote, probably he'll bring in 30% or 20%.
Okay.
And if Wanjigi vies in 2027, it's going to be hard for Gachagua to make a comeback, it's say in 2032, if he was in it for the long term.
Wow.
So if there's a man really who's going to feel the heat from here on, it's going to be the son of Mau Mau.
The son of Mau Mau,
yes.
Indeed it is. He puts it clear and candid that there is a problem with the mountain. And what a point to wrap up the discussion. Remember, this discussion has been live on my page, that is YouTube. If you have not subscribed, please do make sure that you form part of this journey. And that is a discussion that we have that... there were a lot of things raised by the president yesterday, and it's only a matter of time. And they say time, heals everything. Time will tell whether these policies are going to bear fruits or it is going to be otherwise for His Excellency the President. Bye-bye for now. Have yourself a lovely evening.